Bruce Lee turned away a student who begged for training. 20 years later, that student saved his daughter's life. Seattle, Washington, October 1965. Rain hammers against the windows of Bruce Lee's Junfan Gung Fu Academy on University Avenue. The kind of Seattle rain that doesn't fall so much as hang in the air, soaking everything relentless in gray. It's 6:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. Class ended 30 minutes ago. Most students have left. Just Bruce remains, cleaning the studio, preparing for tomorrow's session. The wooden floors creak as he moves. Sweeping. Wiping down equipment. The heavy bag still swings slightly from the last student who worked it. The wooden dummy stands silent in the corner, scarred from thousands of strikes. This is Bruce's sanctuary, his space, where he teaches, where he builds, where he's creating something new. A knock on the door, hard, insistent, not the polite knock of a curious visitor, the demanding knock of someone who expects to be let in. Bruce opens the door. A young man stands there, maybe 17 years old, white, tall, maybe 6 feet, thin but not weak, wet from the rain, no umbrella, no jacket, just a t-shirt and jeans soaked through. His eyes are red, from crying, from anger, from desperation. Hard to tell. "Can I help you?" Bruce asks. "Are you Bruce Lee?" "I am. I want to train with you." Bruce looks at the kid, sees something in his posture, tension, coiled, ready to explode. This isn't someone seeking knowledge. This is someone seeking a weapon. Classes are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Bruce says. 6 p.m., $20 a month. Show up next time and we'll get you started. "No," the kid says, "I need to start now, tonight, right now." "Class is over. Come back Thursday." "I can't wait until Thursday. I need to learn how to fight now." Bruce leans against the doorframe. Doesn't invite the kid in. Doesn't close the door. Just observes. Reads. This is what Bruce does. He reads people, their intentions, their energy, their truth beneath their words. "Why do you need to learn how to fight?" Bruce asks. The kid's jaw tightens. "That's my business. If you want to train with me, it becomes my business. I don't teach people who want to hurt others. I teach people who want to protect themselves and understand truth. So I'll ask again, why do you need to learn how to fight?" The kid looks away, fists clenched, fighting something inside. "Then there's a guy. At school, he beats me up every day, in the hallway, in the bathroom, after school. I'm tired of it. I want to make him stop." "Have you told a teacher? Your parents?" "Yeah. Nobody does anything. They say ignore him, he'll get bored. But he doesn't get bored, he gets worse. Yesterday he broke my nose." The kid points to his face. Bruce can see it now. The swelling, the discoloration, fresh, painful. "I'm sorry that happened to you," Bruce says, and he means it. Bruce knows bullying, grew up with it. Street gangs in Hong Kong, kids who targeted him for being smaller, for being different, for not fitting in. He understands what this kid is feeling, the rage, the helplessness, the desperation. "So will you teach me?" the kid asks. "I can pay. I saved money from my job. I can give you $50 right now. Just teach me how to hurt him, how to make him afraid of me, how to make him stop." Bruce shakes his head. No. The kid's face crumbles. "Why not? I have money. I'll work hard. I'll do whatever you say. Just teach me." I said no. "But you teach other people." "I teach other people who come here for the right reasons. You're here for revenge, for violence, for ego. I don't teach that." He deserves it. Maybe he does deserve it. Maybe he's a terrible person who hurts people for fun. But that's not why I'm saying no. I'm saying no because teaching you how to fight right now, in the state you're in, with the intentions you have, would be dangerous. Not to him, to you. I don't understand. Bruce steps outside, closes the door behind him, stands in the rain with the kid, looks him in the eyes. "You're angry, hurt, humiliated. You want payback. You want to feel powerful after feeling powerless. I understand all of that. But if I teach you how to fight right now, you're going to use it immediately. You're going to find that bully, you're going to attack him, and one of 3 things will happen." Bruce counts on his fingers. 1, you hurt him badly, maybe permanently, and you end up in jail. Your life is ruined because you let anger control you. 2, he still beats you up because 3 weeks of training doesn't make you a fighter, and now you're even more humiliated. Or 3, you do hurt him. You don't get caught, and it feels so good that you keep doing it. You become the thing you hate, the bully, The person who hurts others because it makes you feel strong. The kid is quiet, rain running down his face, mixing with tears now, real tears. So what am I supposed to do? He asks, voice breaking. Just keep getting beat up? Just take it? No. You get help, real help, from people who can actually stop this. School administrators, police if necessary, your parents, adults who have authority to intervene. Fighting isn't the answer. Not yet. Not now. Not in the way you're thinking. Nobody helps. I told you. Then you tell them again and again. You document it. You make noise. You refuse to be ignored. You use the system. And if the system fails, then we talk about other options. But you don't come to me asking for a weapon. You come to me when you're ready to learn martial arts. The philosophy, the discipline, the control, not just the violence. The kid wipes his face, so you won't teach me. Not tonight. Not like this. But if you come back in 3 months and you've handled this the right way and you want to learn for the right reasons, I'll teach you. I'll teach you everything. But I will not teach an angry kid how to hurt someone just because he wants revenge. That's not martial arts. That's not what I do. Bruce turns, opens the door, steps inside. Wait, the kid says. Bruce stops, looks back. What's your name? Bruce asks. Michael Torres. Michael, you're strong enough to take the beatings. That's physical strength. Now show me you're strong enough to walk away from revenge. That's real strength. Do that, and in 3 months we'll talk. Bruce closes the door. But what Bruce didn't know was that decision would save his daughter's life 20 years later. 3 months pass. Michael doesn't return. Bruce doesn't expect him to. Most people who get rejected don't come back. Pride won't let them. Anger won't let them. They find another teacher. Or they give up. Or they handle their problems some other way. Bruce occasionally wonders what happened to Michael. Did he get help? Did the bullying stop? Did he survive high school? But Bruce has hundreds of students. He can't track everyone, can't save everyone. He did what he thought was right, refused to be a weapon dealer, refused to enable revenge. That's all he can control. Years pass. Bruce moves to Los Angeles, then Hong Kong, becomes famous, makes films, becomes a legend, dies in 1973 at age 32. The world mourns. His family grieves. Life continues without him. Linda raises Brandon and Shannon alone, does her best, protects Bruce's legacy, manages his estate, teaches her children about their father, the man, not just the legend. She tells them Bruce's principles, his philosophy, his values. One of those values: refuse to teach people who want to hurt others, only teach people seeking truth. Shannon grows up, beautiful, talented, carrying her father's name, his legacy, his pressure. The weight of being Bruce Lee's daughter. She acts, produces, manages the Bruce Lee brand, protects his image, fights to keep his philosophy alive in a world that just wants the fighting. Los Angeles, 1993. Shannon is 24 years old. She's leaving a restaurant in West Hollywood. Late evening, around 10 p.m., she had dinner with friends. They left separately. Shannon walks to her car alone. The parking lot is mostly empty. Dim lighting, quiet. The kind of quiet that feels wrong in a city this size. She reaches her car, fumbles for her keys in her purse, then hears footsteps behind her, fast, heavy, close. Shannon turns. 2 men, both bigger than her. One white, one Hispanic, late 20s, t-shirts, jeans. One has a knife, small, but real, visible, threatening. "Give us your purse," the one with the knife says. Shannon's heart pounds. Training kicks in. She's learned martial arts, studied with her father's students, knows techniques, but techniques feel different when real danger is inches away, when a real knife is pointed at you, when your hands are shaking and your mouth is dry and fear is screaming at you to run. "Okay," Shannon says, voice steady, surprising herself. "Okay, here." She holds out her purse, hands not shaking now. Survival instinct. Do what they say. Give them what they want. Get out alive. Material things don't matter. Life matters. The man reaches for the purse. Then a voice from behind Shannon. Step away from her. Everyone turns. A man walks toward them from the shadows. Middle-aged, maybe late 30s. White, tall, 6 feet. Solid build. Not huge, but confident. Moving with purpose. No fear in his stride, no hesitation. The man with the knife turns toward this new threat. This doesn't concern you. Walk away. I can't do that, the man says. Still walking forward, still calm. Let her go. Take the purse if you want, but let her go. You want to be a hero? We've got a knife. I can see that. Doesn't change what I said. Let her go. The second attacker moves to flank the man. 2-on-1 now. Shannon backed against her car. The man standing between her and the attackers, protecting her. A stranger. Someone willing to risk himself for someone he doesn't know. The knife holder makes a decision. Lunges at the man fast. Blade aimed at his stomach. A killing strike. The man moves, not away. Forward and to the side. Bruce Lee's principle. Intercept, don't retreat. Meet the attack on your terms. The man's hand captures the knife wrist, twists, hard, clinical, precise. The knife falls, clatters on the pavement. The attacker screams, his wrist broken or dislocated. Can't tell, doesn't matter. The second attacker throws a punch. Wide, untrained, telegraphed. The man blocks it, counters with a strike to the solar plexus. Fast, accurate. The attacker's breath exits. He doubles over. Gasping, 8 seconds from the first attack to both men on the ground, writhing, defeated, neutralized. The man picks up the knife, throws it into nearby bushes, then turns to Shannon. Are you hurt? Shannon shakes her head. Can't speak. Adrenaline, shock, disbelief. I'm calling the police, the man says. Pulls out a cell phone, dials 911. Reports the attempted robbery, gives the location, stays calm, professional, like he's done this before. The attackers stumble to their feet, run, limping, one holding his wrist, one still trying to breathe properly, gone into the night. The man stays with Shannon. Police are coming. I'll wait with you until they arrive. Thank you, Shannon manages. You saved my life. Maybe they would have just taken your purse and left, but I'm glad I was here. They stand in silence. Awkward, intense, the way silence feels after violence, after adrenaline, after everything almost went very wrong but didn't. Shannon looks at the man, really looks at him. You know martial arts. Yes, that was my father's technique, the interception, the simultaneous block and strike. That's Jeet Kune Do. The man looks at her, really looks at her for the first time. Recognition dawns. You're Shannon Lee. Yes, Bruce Lee's daughter. Yes, the man's face goes through several emotions, shock, disbelief, something else, something deeper. My God, he whispers. What? Your father. I met your father. Once. In 1965, in Seattle. I was 17, angry, stupid. I asked him to teach me how to fight. He said no. Shannon's eyes widen. What? I wanted revenge on a bully. Your father saw right through me, told me he wouldn't teach someone who wanted to hurt people, told me to come back in 3 months if I learned to handle things the right way. I was so angry at him, felt rejected, felt like he was just another adult who didn't understand. Did you go back? No, I was too proud, too stubborn, but something your father said stuck with me. He said martial arts isn't about revenge, it's about truth, about discipline, about becoming better than your anger. I didn't understand that then. But over the years, I thought about it, and eventually I found another teacher, someone who taught me what your father would have taught me, control, philosophy, using martial arts to protect, not to attack. What's your name? Michael Torres. Shannon looks at this man, this stranger who isn't a stranger, who her father turned away 28 years ago, who learned the lesson anyway, who just used that lesson to save her life. My father, Shannon says slowly, refused to teach you in 19... Yes. And tonight, because he refused, because he made you learn the right way instead of the wrong way, you were ready to save me, to use martial arts for protection, for good, exactly the way he would have wanted. Michael's eyes fill with tears. I never thought about it like that. My father refused to teach you, but he taught you anyway, by refusing, by forcing you to find the right path. And 28 years later, that lesson saved his daughter's life. They stand there, in a parking lot in West Hollywood. Strangers connected by a decision Bruce Lee made a decision to say no, a decision that seemed like rejection, but was actually the most important teaching Bruce ever did for this student. The police arrive. Take statements. Ask questions. Michael explains what happened. Shannon corroborates. The attackers are gone. Probably won't be found. But Shannon is safe. That's what matters. Before Michael leaves, Shannon stops him. Can I ask you something? Of course. If my father had said yes in 1965, if he'd taught you when you were angry and wanted revenge, what do you think would have happened? Michael thinks. Honestly, I probably would have hurt that bully, badly, and either gotten arrested or become someone who uses violence to solve problems. Your father saw that. Saw who I would become if he gave me what I wanted instead of what I needed. He refused me, and that refusal saved me, changed my whole life. Tonight, it saved yours. Shannon pulls out a business card. This is my number. I want to stay in touch. I want to hear more about your meeting with my father. I want to understand his decision. And I want to thank you for learning the right lessons, for being here tonight, for being the person my father hoped you'd become. Michael takes the card. Thank you. For your father. For his wisdom, for refusing me when I needed to be refused. Tell your mother, tell her Bruce's decision to turn away an angry kid in 1965 saved his daughter in 1993. Tell her his values worked, even when it didn't look like it, even when it seemed harsh. They worked. Michael Torres and Shannon Lee stay in touch, become friends. Michael shares stories about what martial arts taught him, about patience, about discipline, about protecting instead of attacking. Shannon shares stories about Bruce, about his philosophy, about how he refused to teach people for the wrong reasons, even when it cost him students money, reputation. In 1998, Shannon gives a speech at a martial arts convention. She tells the story about the student Bruce refused, about the parking lot in about how a decision to say no became a decision to save a life 28 years later. My father believed that teaching is responsibility, Shannon says, that if you teach someone martial arts, you're responsible for what they do with that knowledge. So he refused to teach people who wanted to hurt others, who wanted revenge, who wanted a weapon. He only taught people who wanted truth, understanding, growth. Some people thought he was arrogant, elitist, too picky. But he wasn't protecting his ego. He was protecting potential victims. Every person he refused might have used those skills to hurt someone, to bully, to dominate, to become what they hated. By refusing them, he prevented that, saved people who will never know they were saved. Michael Torres is one example, but there are hundreds of others. Students my father turned away, sent home, told to come back when they were ready. Most of them didn't come back, but the ones who did, they became his best students, because they learned the first lesson of martial arts, humility. The willingness to be told no, the patience to become worthy of yes. So when you teach, remember saying no is teaching. Refusing someone who isn't ready is protecting them and protecting everyone they might hurt. That's responsibility. That's real teaching. That's what my father did. And 28 years later, it saved my life. The story spreads. Martial arts instructors around the world hear it. Some change how they accept students, start screening more carefully, start saying no more often. Start understanding that teaching isn't just about sharing technique, it's about ensuring that technique is used properly. Michael Torres opens his own school and teaches Jeet Kune Do. On the wall, he hangs a photo, Bruce Lee. Beneath it, a quote, "I will not teach you unless you're ready to be taught." Students ask about it. Michael tells them the story about being turned away in Bruce Lee refused me. Michael tells his students. It felt like rejection, like failure. Like he was saying I wasn't good enough, but he wasn't saying that. He was saying I wasn't ready. There's a difference. Not good enough is permanent. Not ready is temporary. He was telling me to become ready. And when I did, when I found the right teacher and learned the right lessons, everything he refused to teach me, I learned anyway. But I learned it right, with the right mindset, the right values, the right heart. So when I refuse someone, I'm not saying you'll never be ready. I'm saying you're not ready now. Come back when you are. And if you do the work, if you grow, if you become the person martial arts can trust, I'll teach you everything. But if you don't, if you stay angry, vengeful, ego-driven, I won't teach you. And that's the greatest lesson I can give you, the lesson Bruce Lee gave me, that some things are worth waiting for, and martial arts is one of them. In 2020, Michael is 72 years old, still teaching, still sharing Bruce's philosophy. Shannon visits his school. Brings her own children, Bruce Lee's grandchildren. They watch Michael teach, see the principles, the discipline, the respect. After class, Michael and Shannon sit together. Tea, quiet conversation, old friends, connected by a decision made 55 years ago. Do you ever wonder, Shannon asks, what would have happened if my father said yes in 1965? Every day, Michael admits, and every day I'm grateful he didn't. He saved me from myself, gave me the space to become someone worth teaching. That's love, real love, not giving people what they want, giving them what they need, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. They sit in silence, comfortable, understanding. Two people whose lives were forever changed by Bruce Lee saying no. The student he refused to teach became the man who saved his daughter. That's the real power of saying no, not rejection, redirection, not cruelty, wisdom, not closing doors, opening the right ones at the right time. Bruce Lee said no to Michael Torres in 28 years later. That no saved Shannon Lee's life. That's teaching. That's legacy. That's love. The wisdom to refuse someone who isn't ready, the faith that they'll become ready, the hope that when they do, they'll use what they learn to make the world better. Michael Torres proved Bruce right, became the student Bruce hoped he'd become. Just not in Bruce's school, not in Bruce's lifetime, but in the ways that matter most: protecting, serving, teaching, passing forward the wisdom that Bruce passed to him by refusing him. That's the story no one tells. The student Bruce Lee refused, who became the hero Bruce Lee would be proud of. Sometimes the greatest teaching is knowing when not to teach, when to say no, when to make someone wait, when to trust that the right lesson is patience. Bruce Lee knew that, lived it, even when it cost him students, even when people thought he was being difficult, even when it would have been easier to say yes. He said no to an angry 17-year-old in Seattle, in the rain, outside his school. And that no rippled forward, through decades, through lessons learned the hard way, through Michael Torres saving Shannon Lee, through Michael opening a school and teaching others, through those students teaching more students. One no. Infinite impact. That's Bruce Lee's real legacy. Not the fights, the wisdom. Not the films, the principles, not what he taught, what he refused to teach until people were ready. Michael Torres was refused, became ready, saved a life, changed many more. All because Bruce Lee said no. The greatest lesson anyone ever taught him.